Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Rao Kulusu, and coming on mm, just to pose an interesting question that came to mind as I was going through some discussion with somebody. The thing was more like what is important to us? Where do our energy go? Why not people are? Let me put on a light here so that people can see. Okay. So the question was, where do we spend our energy? Are we spending our energy all in trying to make a living and just live off the fruits, or we're trying to understand what is this life about? Who has looked at this question in the history? And why do we have to know that before we can get on the life and work and then enjoy and then die, right? So there's no meaning that way, right? So I kind of was taken by this fact that we got to read our manual before we embark on the life. And I don't think our parents, our school, our all society does the job conscientiously so that we can really say that, um, yeah, we need to know what is life, at least a construct of it, Otherwise, people may say this is the way you have to be, but the real purpose there is their own upliftment or their own aggrandizement, their own ego, or they don't need to control us and all that, right? And then by the time we realize who we are, what we want to do in life, that becomes very late for some people. For some people, never. Okay. I think that kind of thing results in some sort of suffering. Okay. Either regret or just to say, I wasted my life at the end of it because somebody, for example, who was trained and oriented towards you just have to make a lot of money, and just making money itself becomes a goal, and then he doesn't know how to interact with the world and the people around it. And even if he has made a lot of money, at the end of that he will find like, well, what did I do all this for? Why am I having so much emptiness inside? Why there is no meaning or purpose in my life? That kind of thing, right? So I think this is a very important question to be asked very early in life, as early as possible. Maybe our families, our people also have that attitude. Then they will let us discover what is our purpose in life, what is that we are really passionate to do about, and maybe we can pursue that, not at the behest of all the societal pressure or conditionings saying that you get to be this way, right? So I think this is an interesting question for a lot of people. Some people may have asked and then may have embarked on a journey of their own. So many people I have seen, they do. They have understood their life, maybe for their religion or for their scriptures or for their political structure or their social conditioning. So many different ways, right? So they have really established some sort of framework by which they will know, okay, this is good, this is not good, this is correct, this is not correct, this is moral, this is immoral, that kind of framework. And with that framework, they get on their life. Maybe they are doing something excellent, or they may be doing something very routine and mundane, but they're happy with that. So all this came to me very early when I was in medical career, like a medical school. We were kind of wanted to take a quiz one time. What is that appeals to you when you go into a career? What is that you want to do at the end of this tenure of 5.5 years? We have the course, right? At the time, it used to run like that. We get to do clinicals for 3 years, and then 2 years um, uh, basic science. They used to start us with the basic science again the first 2 years, and then we are allowed to go to the clinical side. So not like here, they go directly to the medical school clinics and all that. Also they have hands-on experience here, where we were encouraged to have a lot of theory. We got to study a lot and accumulate a lot of facts and memorize them and get tested on them and all that. But that gives a fundamentally some orientation, like okay, this is what we want to do, and that really helped us to have a fundamental knowledge of the our career. But then there was this question, like, what appeals to you? How? What is your perspective? Do you want to excel yourself, or do you want to serve patients, or whatever the questions were like? But all that pointed out one thing is that we want to be the kind of providing healing to the patient. That came up, right? And then uh, people selected branches according to their tendency. Suppose somebody is very good with their hands and they want to be surgeon, and they came to know about it. Suppose somebody wants to solve the problems and really accumulate all the theory, that also came up, right? So, so we that was the initial thing, and then later on, after I come to the United States and doing my career, then all these stresses, strains, and burnout, and all these things have come in the profession. Even though we studied, we got the degrees, we were entering. There were so many challenges that we needed to learn as we got into the workforce, right? And that was time when some people may look at um, their own family structure, society, the values around them, or the religion, the scriptures, whatever, right? But for me, it was more like a exploration of what is what was in um, a lot in the ancient times. Okay, so when I looked at that, they were really very clear about something. They said, live a simple life, don't waste too much time on that, but spend time on yourself, on finding out what is that made up of, that nature of yours. What do you know about it? And for that, they had explored that, researched on that for thousands of years, right? And then later on, in the rituals, in the dogmatic thinking of the religions, we kind of lost that wisdom. That wisdom is very simple. Okay, you have to eat, you have to have a clothes, you have to shelter, you have to have a family, you have to have education, you have all those things. Keep those things as minimal as possible, and then it's not like you want to waste all your time making a lot of money and then come to this. That was not the thing. It was more like a first spend your energy in really exploring yourself and knowing and then understanding what is this world, what is this society, what is individual, what is God, and all those. And then with the exploration of that by yourself, into yourself, you come to really see what is what are the facts. And with that fact, that gave tremendous stability inside. So it was more like they said, oh, I'm already contented, happy because I discovered my nature. And then they didn't stop there. They went about working for the welfare of the society, right? So that made all the difference, because up until then, the training for me was, you got to pursue your happiness, you got to make your life, you got to do. But then this ancients told me, no, you already have contentment and happiness within you in the form of your own inner being. you know, and then you use your instruments of mind and body to live life, to make a life, and then your needs are as minimal as possible. Then you are working for the society. So whatever you do, you gladly give it to the society. That kind of thing, right? So that framework really made sense to me. That eliminated the ego, the selfishness, the greed, the domination, power needs, all those things fell off. Then you will be a citizen, you will know what you want to contribute, and at the same time, you are not taking too many resources from the environment. And that way, you can help the environment too, right? Because our consumption is the primary reason why we are in this global heat crisis. That is what I'm convinced about, so simple life outwardly, and then higher thinking inwardly, and knowing who we are and how we relate to the rest of the world, and then go about making a living and distributing the wealth, or using the good things. You can be very philanthropic, right? You can make money, but you can be very philanthropic, give it away, and all those. So, and those people, like if you take people like Rockefeller or any of those people, they have discovered that making all the money is not going to lead to happiness. I'll tell you a story here. Way back in the late part of 19th century, Vivekananda, he's a famous yogi, and also really philosopher and teacher and all that. So he came to this country because he was intending to attend the Congress of Religions that was happening in Chicago at the time. So he came, and then he became very popular with his lectures and with his personality, charisma, and all that, right? So he gained a lot of people coming to his lectures, including people like Nikolai Tesla, and a lot of people came there. And then he was establishing some of the societies that he wanted people to listen to these ancient teachings, thereby they can live a full life and all that, right? So he famously said, if only you know who you are, then you will live a completely different life. That means you are not your body and mind, you are your inner being. That's what it is, right? So what happened to him was Rockefeller was wanting to talk to him. So and he was really miserable because he had made a lot of money, but then he has a style that he made a lot of people did not like him, and then did not want to talk to him and all that. So his stress has built along with the money he made, right? So he comes to Vivekananda, and Vivekananda is in the inner room of his house, and there's somebody outdoor waiting for the guests. And then if they are unannounced, then he will tell them you have to take an appointment to come back, because Vivekananda was busy with so many things, right? But Rockefeller, being arrogant and proud about himself, he brushes aside that guy and then pushes him aside and goes straight into the inner chambers of Vivekananda, way back in the rooms, right? And Vivekananda is writing something at a table, and he goes to him, and then he stands and glares at him, okay? Because he thinks he's such a high money person, is more important than anybody else, right? Then he glares at him, and then tells that he came to talk to him, and Vivekananda says, so immediately he looks at him, he looks at his body language, he looks at his face, and this man is a very brilliant man, Vivekananda, right? So immediately he saw this man is miserable in his face and all that. Then he said, "You are unhappy, aren't you?" Then he said, "Yeah, I'm unhappy. I have a lot of money, but I don't have any happiness. I feel miserable. I feel empty." Then Vivekananda says, "Maybe because you are making too much money and you are not giving it away. Give away the money as much as you can, and then see what happens." So the meeting ends there, and Rockefeller goes back, and he starts to give money to charitable money, right? Philanthropy, a little bit of it. But what he does is he wants a receipt of whoever is receiving the money. So he collects all those receipts and then comes back to Vivekananda and he throws them on his face. He says, "Are you happy? Now I gave all the money, not all the money, some money away." Then Vivekananda says, "What? You are the one unhappy, and now you are happy that you have really gave some money away, and then there's some relief, some happiness. Isn't true?" Yes, yeah. He said, "Yeah." But then why are you asking me to thank you? Because you should be thanking me because I helped you to be happy again. And then Rockefeller's foundation started and see the effect of the foundations in this country, the universities, the educational institutions, research institutions, academic institutions, hospitals. So many things have foundations. And the foundation comes from people like Warren Buffett, for example. He is excellent at making money, creating wealth, but he is leading a very simple life. And then he kind of doesn't want even the name on his foundation. He gave to Bill Gates and Melinda their foundation, and he said they will spend better because they go to the other countries, give the vaccinations. There's so many services that people don't have in Africa, Asia. They are working very hard, right? So that is a very uh, influential story that I always tell because that influenced me too. I understood what it is important in life. Giving and enjoying that. That's a life that we usually have to lead, right? And most of us we feel very well when we even on this app when I come and then talk and then tell them what I feel. I feel good whether they follow it or not, whether they like it or not. I just expressed and then gave in the spirit of giving, right? And the very act of doing that makes me feel good. It makes my day for that day. Okay, and then if I look at it, I am contented and happy and simple outward, and really stress free in a way. But the challenges come my way, then I go and you know attend to them and really attend with more focus and more energy because I spend a lot of time not wasting much energy with unnecessary thoughts and all that. So you're focused in whatever you're doing. So the aim is like we will know who we are in our real nature, and then we go and embark on the world and try to do good whatever we can do with our life. Like I want to serve people to be well. I want to help the planet to leave less carbon print. Those are the main goals. And then when you are doing that, I'm not looking for anybody to give me things rather than in a giving mode you are. So that all that starts with if you are immersed in making a living and have these goals that may not mean much for us, down the line, what happens? You have the emptiness inside. You don't have any meaning to the things that we are doing and all that. But if you really spend your time to really know what I am really, am I this flesh and bone, or am I these few thoughts, or these things are there, but then I am really that inner being. As a human being, I have the intelligence, I have this sensation of who I am, and then I have a mind, I have emotions, I have these ideals and all those things, right? If you understand them, if you put them down, if you really get a clear idea, then even though it is not outwardly profitable, you will be doing things that appeals to your inner core of your being, and then then you discover how happy you are just be having this opportunity to do what you really want to do. Okay, so that kind of awareness, that kind of knowing who we are, makes you so content and happy, then you go and work for the welfare of the world. You know, so that's my viewpoint. It's not that everybody has to agree with that. I don't expect that all. I'm just saying, just examine where the energy is going. Is the energy is going towards just to make a living or enjoying those fruits, or is it going more towards finding out what is life, who you are, what's your role here, and all that? They are existential questions, and I'm inviting to examine ancient wisdom because they spent thousands of years experimenting, researching, and learning from that. Okay, so like a scientific research, like but that is kind of lost in the modern age, or not many people involved interested in that. But now it is coming back because it's much more available, much more easy to get into that kind of thing. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk for today. And anybody has any questions on the wisdom map, you can come out, or I will be finishing this talk because this is what I wanted to talk about today. So I mean, there's so much we can explore in the um, journey of the ancients and how it was misunderstood or misinterpreted or not taken at all, and what are the consequences of that, not only on individual lives but also the world's progress, like for example global heat and all the violence, all the wars and everything is happening because people mistakenly identify the ego and also mistakenly identify the superficial temporary goals as their life thing, and then pursue them, and really missing out on the real essence, excellence of what life has to offer. Okay, all right. If that is what I want to talk about, I didn't expect anybody to come and discuss this on the spot. But if you want to discuss, that's fine. But I just wanted to put that out there and then see what people feel about that. I definitely tell my children, sit down and understand these ancient universal truths that they found revealed. You see what it is they were having a simple life, and they were trying making time for them to sit down and go inward themselves and find out how they are thinking, what are the feelings, what are the things that they want to understand about their own mind, and then thoughts, feelings and all that, and then go beyond that, and then really be in that witness that is doing observation of the instruments of body and mind, and all that is kind of too much for some people. But then if you put enough time into that, at least on a daily basis for a while, then you will understand, why do I get reactive so easily, why do I get angry so easily, why do I have this greed? That's why I want to make money at the cost of other people, thereby making problems with other people and all that, right? So uh, I think it's worth spending time like that, and then not based on any particular conditioning, any particular training, but using your own mind, your own insight into things, your own intelligence, to get into things rather than just repeating some old text or old book or old scripture. They talked about this kind of intelligence in the human beings, how to engage that intelligence to learn about ourselves and then face the life. Okay. All right. That's a big question, and I don't know whether it will appeal to several people, but I just wanted to put it out there and see what people feel about it. Okay. Thank you.